going to doing something about Calculus B Senior 1 Review Part 2. Alright, so let's begin. So question 5 for the function above, which is a piecewise function, which of following would be the reasons why the function g of x is not continuous at x equals to 2. So if a function is continuous, which means the limit exists and the limits of the function equals to the function at a point, which means there's no removable discontinuity at a point. Or let's start analyze the function. So if limit as x approaches to the 2 from the left hand side, which goes to this function, g of x, it becomes to the sine of 2 pi over 3. So double check your unit circle and you will get a square root 3. Alright, for x equals 2, it just goes this one, which means it's 2 root 2. 2 times root 2. For the last one, limit as x approaches to the 2 from positive side, from the right hand side, it goes to the g of x, which means it goes to this one. So it becomes 2 root 3 over 6 plus 6 minus 4, which is root 3. So the limit as x approaches to 2, it does exist and equals to the root 3. So this one, for the second option, is wrong because it does exist. For the first one, g of 2 is undefined. So it's basically defined because we plug in number and it becomes 2 root 2. So it's defined. It's absolutely defined. Alright, for the third one, we see, yeah, because the limit as x approaches 2 of g of x, it goes to this root 3, which is not equals to the g of 2, which is 2 root 2. So this one is correct. So the correct answer would be the A. Alright, for the next one, we got limit as x approaches to the positive infinity of 2x squared minus 4x plus x cubed, ax cubed, and over 3x cubed minus 5x squared plus 7. So for this one, we have to rearrange the fraction first. So limit as x approaches to infinity, what we got is 8x cubed first, then plus 2x squared minus 4x, and over 3x cubed minus 5x squared plus 7. Alright, so for this one, what we have to do is we divide x cubed, which is the highest degree term in the denominator, and what we got is 8 plus 2 over x minus 4 over x squared over 3 minus 5 over x plus 7 over x squared. Don't forget limit. Alright. So if x goes to infinity, which means this one becomes 0, this one becomes 0 as well, and all the denominator for this part, it just eventually becomes 0. So for the final answer, what we got is over 3. So we choose C. For next one is pretty tricky function. What we have to do is a little bit more complicated, but it's all fine. So limit as x approaches to negative infinity. If you directly plug to the infinity and analyze the function, it will pop out to the result of the infinity over infinity, which is undoable. So we have to make the function doable, which means we have to do something with the numerator or denominator. So for this question, I would introduce a kind of new method to do this question. So you see x squared plus 3. So we factor out x squared over the x squared to x squared out. What we got is x squared times parentheses 1 plus 3 over x squared. Yeah, that's what we got. If you times x squared to the parentheses, you eventually goes the same answer with x squared plus 3. And then there's a theorem you must be heard before, which is in the algebra 2. So square root x squared equals to the absolute value of x. Or is that correct? Yeah, it's correct. And then for this one, what we got is absolute value of x, it times 1 plus x squared, 3 over x squared. Alright, that's what we got. And when x approaches to the infinity, negative infinity, which means this one is a negative value, which we can get its negative x times square root 1 plus 3 over x squared. Alright, so for denominator, we just have to keep it as the same, but rearrange it, which becomes to the negative 3x plus 5. Alright, so we do next step, we combine them together. Limit as x approaches to the negative infinity, and negative 3x plus 5 over negative x times square root 1 plus 3x cubed, 3x squared, 3 over x squared. So what we have to do next is we can separate them out, separate the denominator out, and what we can get is negative 3x plus 5 over negative x, and it times 1 over 1 plus 3 over x squared. So for this one, it's more easily to analyze. So for this function, we divide by negative x. So what we got is 3 plus 5 over x over 1. So if x approaches to approaches to the negative infinity, which means this one eventually becomes 0, and what we got is 3. And 3 times this part, so x squared, 3 over x squared, which means if the x goes to infinity, this one eventually becomes 0. And what we got is 1 over square root 1, which is 1. And 3 times 1, because this part becomes 1, and this part becomes 3 here. So the answer is 3 plus 3 times 1, which is 3. So for this one, we choose D. And the last one, it asks us which of the following statements true about the piecewise function of h of x. So limit as x approaches to 2 from the left-hand side of h of x equals to negative 2. So what we have to use is this function here. So limit as x approaches to the 2 from the left-hand side as of x squared minus 3x, which equals to the 4 minus 6, which is negative 2. So this one is correct. And the next one, it asks us whether limit as x approaches to 2 of h of x exists. So we have to analyze the right-hand side limit, which is lim as x approaches to 2 from the right-hand side. So if it goes to the right-hand side, it goes to this function here, which is 2x plus 5. So we plug the number into it, it just becomes to the, minus 5. If you plug number into it, we got negative 1. So the limit doesn't exist because the right-hand side and left-hand side limit as x approaches to 2 doesn't exist. They're not equal, so it doesn't exist. For the last one, if h of x is continuous at x equals to 2, which means the right-hand side and left-hand side, they're equal, which means the function does have the limit as x approaches to 2. So, however, for this one, the limit is not exist. So the function eventually becomes not continuous at x equals to 2. So this one is wrong. We have to choose it's A. So hopefully this video will help you for the calculus test as a preparation. If you have something like doesn't make sense or you're still concerned or confused, just leave the comment and I will improve it later. Thank you for watching.